Brought to you by FEC Productions. Quality movies since 2014. If you look at the impact on Britain's acquisition of South Africa, it is clearly evident that they've had negative effects on its people and they've transformed the land as well as the culture of that region.
Well, I mean, you can't really blame the British. I mean, they only did it to bolster their economy and improve the uncivilized living conditions within their society.
Well, Britain as a whole support these ideas, but the British capitalists and the administrators of those territories in South Africa have been hypocrites, and they tolerated the well-being of the natives, and they were only striving for the minerals found in the region.
Well, how about we go check it out and see what really happened?
One of the most influential European powers to enter the scramble of Africa was Britain. They entered the scramble not to turn the natives into Black Britons, but to share their culture and values with the natives in hopes that they would then use these tools to further advance their own societies, as well as to improve trade relations with India through the securing of Egypt and the lands along the east coast of the continent. Another reason was to join the quest of resources hidden within the continent.
Before the Berlin Conference, several European countries have scattered throughout Africa and basically colonized and governed the settlers and the natives. The Cape Colony was the first territory invaded by Britain. The Cape Colony, before it fell in British control, was inhabited by Dutch settlers called Boers. Boer is a Dutch word that means farmer, because most of the settlers feed themselves through farming and profit from it. When Netherlands was occupied by the Napoleonic Wars, Britain took the opportunity to invade and buy the land from Netherlands. After the colonization of Cape Colony, Transvaal, Orange Free State, Rhodesia, and other South African lands were completely taken over by Britain. Many natives were stripped from their culture in their own land. The administrations of British representatives such as Sir Shepstone's administration of Transvaal have oppressed the settlers through high taxes and the vacillating stance on slavery. You see, Britain had a moral duty to itself to stop slavery in Africa. So the administrators had also followed but still provide exceptions and provisions that can still be considered as a form of slavery. Once Shepstone announced the abolishment of slavery, many Boer farmers lost labor and they could no longer prosper. After that, Shepstone provided provisions that required natives to carry their owner's name. If they don't, anyone can make them his slaves. Many British mining owners had little profit in South Africa after discoveries of rich mineral deposits in the area. The well-known mining magnate Cecil Rhodes with the British troops occupied the upper land in South Africa that was called Rhodesia, named after Cecil Rhodes himself. Mining employers mostly employed blacks because of the low wages they consider and the efficiency they offer. Many mining employees were slaves or former slaves. This was the beginning of the pre-apartheid era. An African organization formed a petition traveling to England to present their proposal to end the suffering, the racial segregation, and biased employments in their land, South Africa. However, Britain ignored their petition and urged economic prosperity of British mining companies in South Africa.
Good evening, gentlemen. You may all take your seats now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, you too.
And you, buddy?
Hey man, it's been so long, don't see man. Hey, how's it been?
What are you doing? That's Chairman.
Patrick. Oh,
I see how you cold as ice, man.
Alright. I think you're wondering why I've called you here today. In light of recent events in Africa, you have been arguing over who gets which territory. Okay, so I would like to hear your opinion on this topic.
Well, when it comes to the partition of Africa, I just have to say, I call Madagascar.
Oh, hell no, I want
come
Madagascar.
on, man. You already got this
I
one,
don't care,
man.
it's desert.
Well, you were
Land.
stupid enough to pick it,
Oh,
so
well,
what the
this-
hell?
I didn't get to pick this one.
Whoa, wait, no, you can't take
You're
my
not even-
territory.
Your territory.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is my territory.
Shut up.
Oh, it's
Come
this, man.
All
Come
this,
on, you can't
all,
do this.
all of
No, no.
You shut up and sit down.
Oh,
Excuse me, sir. How dare you? You better not do that again. Watch yourself. This is my land.
All
I'm
these
not-
three.
They're mine.
Shut up!
Alright. I had anticipated that something like this would happen, so I prepared a treaty that I think you will all find very reasonable.
Treaty.
Check it out.
What the hell is this?
Ooh. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Alright, so do you think it is very reasonable, people?
Yep.
Actually, I have a problem.
What would that be?
See, I want Madagascar still, along with this territory of mine already.
What say you?
Well, I still kind of needed Madagascar because I need some trading route to the Indian Ocean. But I do already have claims on this portion of the map known as Mozambique, if that's okay with you. Yeah, that rhymed. So, you can have Madagascar. Have fun with all those lemurs. I'll have Mozambique.
Well,
Alright.
and another problem I must address. I want all of this area that belongs to.
No. I want to have these three.
Wait.
Once-
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, you do have this small piece of land right here in the east.
It's just small. I mean,
Yes, but it's right by the Middle East.
Yeah, the Middle East has lots of way more things there.
Oh, they have a lot of things. Bombs, women, terrorists. Well, mostly terrorists.
Oil, don't
Oh.
forget that oil.
Mhm.
And some money, man.
You know what I mean.
Now don't forget, I still take these two provinces for Germany.
We Belgians are peaceful people and we avoid conflict. So we're satisfied with this Congo.
You see, as long as you and you do not mingle with our authorities here in the south and the north of Africa, then we're all fine. We're all set. We'll offer you trading products as well as access to our transportation.
Right, as representative from Germany, I take your agreement.
All right, thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, that's fair deal. Fair deal.
Bombs are raised.
All right.
And we already got Italy and Spain covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll just get the leftovers.
Those two
Yeah,
ones
true.
themselves.
Yeah.
They didn't want to show up anyway, so I mean, they get what's left. That's what happens. First come, first serve. So.
Yep. They said that they're gonna be like 2 hours late, so
No.
yeah, they can negotiate the leftovers. We'll
By
get
then
them
we'll be
later.
done. But all right. I guess I'll start with the signing.
All right.
All right.
All right. Here you go.
That's just what you call handwriting.
Yeah. Yeah. I have been trained by German handwriters. I know how to handwrite, fool.
Oh.
That's right. Keep it straight, gentlemen. I don't know what that meant.
Where do I sign?
On the
At
bottom.
the bottom, dude.
Alright, I see it's all going well. He agreed, he signed it.
Are you
Just
sure
keep
we
going.
can?
Yeah, we can trust him. Don't worry, don't worry.
Oh, man.
Everything is
This
covered.
Oh.
I said we Belgians are peaceful people.
You didn't say they're
peaceful,
peaceful.
right?
Don't
Peaceful.
worry.
You didn't say you were
Guys,
Peaceful or
guys,
be?
guys, you have signed the document.
We like you, don't we?
Hey, we signed the document. Peace.
Alright.
Not for the Africans, though. Screw the Africans. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, those things could be slow.
we're gonna screw over Africa.
That's right.
Bing, bing, pow.
Alright.
Yeah.
That was kind of gay, I'm sorry.
You know what? Screw you.
Well, you can go.
Hey, no screwing each other.
Guys, remember the treaty. Alright.
Alright.
Ladies.
Mademoiselle.
That was for last
Guys?
time.
Hey.
It's coming.
No arguing. No arguing.
Guess what's coming?
Now, thank you all for coming. Hope to see you next time.
Alright.
Yes.
I wish you all a prosperous journey.
Yeah,
Indeed.
well,
Okay.
I can't say the same for you.
Well,
Guess you said
Oh, challenge accepted. Mm-hmm.
alright. Leave.
Okay.
Peace out there. That's on the safe one?
That went well. Oh yes, who is it?
Oh yes, sir, I'm going to Bismarck. Forgive me, sir. I left my watch.
So unprofessional.
Godspeed.
You too. Alright, now where was I? Alright, the map. There's a bright future ahead of us. And a bright future for Africa.
You see, guys, the European powers weren't that bad. I mean, they came to a reasonable and considerate solution for the partition of Africa.
That's true. But you have to take into consideration that the Africans themselves were present in the conference. So none of the decisions made were in their consent.
Yeah, I mean, come on, look at how the Zulus reacted when the British invaded South Africa and tried to conquer their territories. See for yourselves.
There are many times that the people governed by the British colonial administrations in South Africa resisted and fought for their freedom and independence. Sir Henry Borrow Freer, a British High Commissioner, traveled to South Africa and enforced the policy of confederation. The policy basically stated that every South African territories will be united as one and will be governed by a single British administration. Sir Henry Borrow Freer then recognized the threat of Zulus towards this policy. Their independence and sovereignty were strongly valued by them. They will surely resist British invasion in Zululand, and surely a war had begun. The Anglo-Zulu War was one of the conflicts between natives and the British forces in South Africa. There were two battles in the war. One was a battle named after African landmark in South Africa, Isandlwana. There were 25,000 Zulus armed only with wooden spears fought against the careless Britain, only sending 1,500 of its fully armed trained men. In this battle, the Zulus won. The second battle was called Rorke's Drift. There were 120 British soldiers left, and they fought against the Zulus even when they saw that many of their comrades were retreating and or dying from the forces of the Zulus. The victory of the battle and ultimately the whole war was achieved by those British soldiers. Consequently, the Zulus were captured and their land was taken over.
There they are, men! Take aim! Fire! Oh, nice. Is he dead yet? Do you think he's dead yet?
Fine battle indeed.
Yes, victory is secured. Butler, are fired!
Although South Africa gained independence from Britain in 1910, the nation would still be plagued by racial injustice. The 1913 Land Act forced black Africans to live in reserves, making it illegal for them to work as sharecroppers. Opponents of the Land Act formed the South African National Native Congress, which would later become the African National Congress. The National Party was founded in 1915 by Boer descent Africans. After the National Party gained power in South Africa in 1948, its all-white government immediately began enforcing existing policies of racial segregation under a system of legislation known as the apartheid. The apartheid was a policy where non-white South Africans would be forced to live in separate areas from whites as well as use separate facilities, and the contact between the two became limited and for the most part illegal.
So hot out here. I can't wait to
You
go.
two, what do you think you're doing?
Stop right there.
Colored people on that side of the road.
Why? Come on.
Get on that side of the road.
What to do?
Whoa! Oh no, you didn't.
Get back here.
Although it was highly opposed by the majority of citizens, the policy of apartheid lasted from 1948 to 1991. It was the notable efforts and sacrifices of political revolutionists who would bring international attention to the South African apartheid. Nelson Mandela, for instance, was a civil rights activist whose efforts of nonviolent civil disobedience led to his imprisonment for 20 years, causing global outrage. Another man who brought international attention to the South African apartheid was Arthur Ashe, a popular 20th century tennis player who was denied his visa for a South African tournament because he was black. He was able to bring America, as well as much of the international community's concern on South African apartheid. Under the pressure from the international community, a new constitution, which empowered blacks and other racial groups, took effect in 1994, and elections that year led to a coalition government with a non-white majority, marked the official end of the apartheid system. Nelson Mandela was elected as South Africa's first black president. Today, South Africa is a democratic nation where people of all backgrounds are protected and treated equally by law. However, there is still massive economic inequality and poor labor conditions. Colored people, blacks in particular, make up the largest portion of people under poverty. Today, 1 out of 5 gold miners will get silicosis, a severe respiratory disease caused by inhaling silica dust from mines due to no provisions of gas masks by foreign investors.
Okay, now I understand that Britain was undermining the very roots of culture and heritage in South Africa, and they've played a huge role in drastically altering and transforming the landscape of that region.
However, Britain also contributed to the development of the primitive ways within the African native society, and they improved the living conditions within it.
But is it fair to put all the blanks on Britain? Only needed to compete with other European countries, building their own empires all over the globe.
Well, I guess the neo-imperialism era was inevitable, and the scramble of Africa was both the greatest and the worst time period of history in Africa. Yes, I won! Oh yeah!
You didn't, fool.
Henceforth, the world should know the event when one of the world's vast
An unscathed land was industrialized, developed, and therefore corrupted.
And altered almost completely, as if uprooted, turned over, and put back in a different shape and likeness.